TravelWise with Phil Blizzard. News, views and interviews.
Hello, I'm Phil Blizzard in Dubai with Pod Talks, our TravelWise special, taking a look at Thailand as it's just reopened to international travellers. So I want to get over there fairly soon. So this is for me and for you. So I want to find out exactly what one needs to get into Thailand. It's changing all the time, of course, but we're focusing on a group which I always think of Anantara as being the flagship of Minor Hotels. And to tell us more and to put me in the right place, I suppose, regarding that thought of mine, Michael Marshall, Chief Operating Officer. Nice to catch up with you once again.
Hello, Phil. Great to see you again. And definitely looking forward to you coming back to Thailand very soon, I hope.
The land of smiles, and I hear the land of Instagram smiles these days. Things have changed in that respect. So what
absolutely.
From the sector, hospitality sector, travel sector, regarding the opening up of Thailand to international travel, what's the initial response? It's only just a matter of a couple of weeks or so, isn't it?
Yes, no, the response is very positive. There is definitely a lot of pent-up demand. And, what we've been doing is pushing the government very hard here to reduce as much as possible the restrictions. These are the things that really, are the things that's just put people off. And we were just talking about how well Dubai had done, by making it very simple. So now, there's no quarantine because that was a big barrier before when we had 2 weeks quarantine. So there's no quarantine. You just take a test on arrival. There is some paperwork still, which you have to put in for the Thailand pass, which is, insurance data and stuff like this. But sure. It's a lot less than it was before. So we're on the right track. Overall, we've seen good pickup in especially Phuket. Phuket's leading the way because the advantage of Phuket, it's got a big airport now because the size of the airport was doubled a few years ago, and they've got the new terminal. So you've got direct international flights from Emirates, Etihad, the key European airlines, and they're all going in there. Dubai is
just to jump in regarding Phuket. They pioneered the sandbox concept, didn't they, earlier on in the year for international travellers? Yes. So you were saying about Dubai, big source market, I guess.
It's a big source market. Emirates is increasing the size of the planes now, planning 380s, increasing the frequency. We've had about 40 in the first 2 weeks. We've had 46,000 arrivals. So it's starting to come in. Countries, just to give you an idea, countries that are coming in, UAE, the key European countries, so UK, Germany, Switzerland, then Russia is coming in. So we're US actually as well. So US is one of the leaders. So that's good.
And you mentioned Emirates there. I'm just going to jump in and say I've been doing a bit of looking around, and they've got some very attractive fares at the moment, even sort of leading up to Christmas and New Year. It's about 2,000 dirhams returned from Dubai, just over that. So that's really good at the moment. Of course, these things change week by week. So don't want to get to Thailand for Christmas. Do your booking now, quick, I think.
Yes, I definitely. There is pickup for Christmas and New Year, and people booking for January. The first quarter. Yeah. Now people book, it's very different from pre-COVID where people are booking, much later and more last minute and everything. But we are getting bookings coming in for Q2 as well. So, that's a good sign, particularly from Europe.
Yeah. I just want to jump back to what you're saying about entry into Thailand, because I was reading that you have to do the paperwork and do a PCR on arrival, and you have to stay in a hotel for one night until you get the result.
That's it's if you've come into Bangkok, yes. So there's a test and go, they call it, is test and go, which you do have to do one night it's basically just while the test result comes back in Bangkok, and then you can go anywhere after that. If you go to Phuket or Samui direct, then you just do the test at the airport and then you go to your hotel. So they're not allowing yet for the test at the airport to happen in Bangkok, but we're putting a lot of pressure on the government, and the airlines are doing the same.
Anyway,
to simplify it even further.
This is valuable information from our man on the ground in Bangkok, Michael Marshall. So I want to reflect back now on what you've gone through in terms of surviving. How important was your reliance on domestic travel over the last 18 months?
It's been crucial, and it's been so important. We had to move very quickly, when the real COVID outbreak happened, and as with most of Asia, the countries locked down the borders. So the only way to get into Thailand and the Asian countries was by doing 2 weeks quarantine, which really wasn't on for most people. Yeah. And, there's a lot of paperwork involved in that as well. So it just wasn't on. So we had to pivot and go after the domestic business. And as I was saying to you earlier, in the 10 years I've been here, 90% of our business has been international business to Thailand for our Thai hotels, and 10% domestic. So we had to change a lot. We had to change our marketing, our communication, our social media, even our service, because our hotel guests have been, international, used to an international style of service, and our staff have been used to delivering that. They had to then pivot to do the kind of service that Thais want, and the type of food. So we changed our menus, changed our experiences, went more family, and went more Instagram, big time. Instagram spots.
I'm just wondering now, actually, and this makes me smile because I go to Thailand. Cuisine is such an important thing. So you say you're changing the Thai cuisine to something else, the domestic travellers. And what are they going for? I'll tell you something now. I saw a friend of mine who lives in Hua Hin, and he posted a photograph of a new restaurant in Hua Hin, and his son was there enjoying the food. He was eating a pizza. So is that what you're having to serve now, rather than the traditional Thai cuisine?
Yes and no, Phil. I mean, they really still always like their key mainstream Thai dishes. Okay. They will definitely have a pizza. Seafood is very key. Of course. Making it even more spicy, because the tolerance level of foreigners versus Thais, there's quite a big difference, of course. So, So if it's not spicy enough, then it's going to get sent back. So
there you go. Back to the original Thai spiciness. Okay, we're focusing on Thailand, but we will come on to what's happening here in the Middle East for Anantara. But I've mentioned Anantara. What are the other key hotels for you within the Kingdom of Thailand?
Yeah, I mean, we have been growing our Avani brand, as you know, and we've opened Avanis in the UAE as well, with the recent addition of the Avani Palm View, at the entrance to the Palm. And so we developed that brand around 6 years ago, and it's our fastest growing brand now. So it sits underneath Anantara. So we've got an Avani on the river next to the Anantara riverside. We've got Avani in Phuket, Mai Khao now. We've got a new Avani opening in December, which is at Khao Lak, which is close to Phuket. Khao Lak is a beautiful beach area, about 20 minutes from Phuket. And then Krabi, you'll have heard of Krabi, where we've got two Avanis. One's open, another one coming at Koh Lanta soon. So there's a lot of expansion.
Yeah, I've seen and stayed in the Avani in the Seychelles, and also been to the one on the riverside in Bangkok. So for our listeners, describe the Avani. I'd say it's modern contemporary with a bit of funky element to it.
That's absolutely right, Phil. Perfect description. Modern contemporary. It's a bit younger than Anantara, and it attracts a younger audience, and families or couples, young couples. It's a big part of the market.
So Avani is the one which is moving forward rapidly. We'll come on to the one in Dubai shortly, but I'm thinking Christmas, New Year's, traditionally, I believe, been the peak season for visitors to Thailand. And with opening up beginning of November, not a lot of lead time, really, for people to make their minds up, especially if it's a family group traveling, I suppose. So what are you seeing in terms of travelers coming to your resorts, your hotels, for Christmas and New Year? Is it younger?
Yeah, it is picking up. You're right. Historically, it would have been very late. In pre-COVID times, everybody would have booked. Now there is still a lot of the European market, UK market that has already booked. Even probably UAE people have already booked because they've got kids, they need to make plans and everything.
Sure.
But there's still a lot of people who haven't booked, because they were still waiting to see or whatever. So we are picking up some of that business, which is good news.
So let's say you have room for Christmas, you have room for New Year.
We have room. Yeah,
okay.
We have room. It's picking up. We're getting the domestic market as well as obviously what we were fully booked last Christmas and New Year, but with the domestic market. So they're still coming. Thais haven't really started traveling internationally yet, but that will happen, I'm sure, once they get used to the idea that the borders are open and you don't have to quarantine when you come back. So there is still space. Yeah. So please, anybody come, please come if they're thinking of getting away from Dubai.
Okay.
Talking there with Michael Marshall, and in the next episode of the TravelWise podcast, we'll be catching up with Michael to talk about their activities, developments, pipeline, future hotels, not only the UAE, but across the region. I'm Phil Blizzard with TravelWise news, views and interviews. I look forward to joining you soon. And if you would like to have a podcast production for your organisation, do get in touch with me. Drop me an email, philblizzardmedia@gmail.com.
A Phil Blizzard radio production. TravelWise with Phil Blizzard. News, views and interviews.